Carvana, wow, this stock is beaten to its own drum. Why is the stock continuing to rise despite the market pretty much doing nothing? We're going to dive in all the details in ticker CVNA Carvana. Let's go to the screens. All right, everyone, Carvana. This one is just absolutely unreal. If we look at the master indicator, looking over Carvana, we can see this stock has just been parabolic. From 70 bucks in May all the way to 175 a share printing pre-market, and it just continues. You know, we're talking about a triple this year alone, and yeah, we're just continuing to rise. Let's go back, look at this here on the weekly chart. We were 300 plus to 3.5. We had insider buying down in here, and now, you know, we're pretty much over a 50% retracement. So let's get into all the details. Should you buy? Should you sell? What to do with Carvana? And if we pull it up on the multiple time frame analysis as well, obviously still all aligned. It's hard to short. We're going to look at the short interest, and let's go into details here in Carvana. Wow, this stock, again, it is just, what is going on in it? Let's pull up the penny option scanner. And it looks like everything we had in it already expired. Today is October 1st, so all the September stuff, we don't get no dice there. Sorry, Charlie. If we pull up the big boy scanner, big money heavyweight, that's what we love. Well, maybe not heavyweight. Might have to go back on Weight Watchers. We do have some October 167.5 calls. These are like, what, 10 plus bucks in the money now. And then we have the day before, looks like probably this trader did some kind of strangle or straddle. I mean, and I don't want to sound too rich, but 160, 115 grand in Carvana ain't going to move the needle. Stock's a big stock. It trades lots of options, lots of volume a day. You know, you can see like in October, look how many multiple thousand open interest. And obviously the options are expensive, so you know, let's say you were to do, you know, you don't have to do a lot of contracts to add up to 115, 160K. So really not much in terms of the options market. Let's go ahead and look at a couple things. Let's look at the implied vol, because I know it's going to be juiced up, but might as well. I mean, those options are pricey, so very hard to trade. They're expecting big moves in that name. Actually, implied vol is relatively low compared to historic vol. Obviously on earnings, you have the highest implied vol, then it dies down. Let's look at the ATR. Just curious on that one too. And the stock usually moves around 7.5 bucks per day. So from high to low. Like yesterday, if we look at Carvana intraday, this was right at the open. We were about 167, and then we closed 174. So that's, you know, pretty much what, $7 on the button. Hence the $7.5 ATR. Ooh, look, everything's making sense. That's good. The market is pretty much pricing in to perfection, in other words. Let's go ahead and look at the insider buying or selling here in Carvana. Let's see what these fine ladies and gentlemen are doing. They want me to look at an ad. Just said, hey, not a lot of money, and here I am not paying for ads. So insider, we'll just do that. We'll make it easy. And SEC Form 4, it's the same thing as Carvana or as Open Insider. They just show your SEC Form 4s. Same thing. SEC Form 4 is within 48 hours. Management, CEO, CFO, someone within the company has to post if they're buying or selling. And look, I got around it. Okay, well, that was easy. Some crazy watches. I am wearing one of these things. I'll roll a rolly. All right, and then we have in Carvana. Wow. Okay, last week, Ernest sold about 67 million in stock. I mean, wow. Looks to be this guy is selling as much stock as possible. He's a billionaire. Well, in the car sector. Oh, and he's a criminal. Perfect. Wow. Okay. Is the founder of Carvana felon? Yes. All right. Well, the founder has been dumping stock as quick as possible. Okay. But, to be fair though, how much money he has, good Lord. But he was dumping stock at 133, 150, 143, and now the stock's 175, right? So you can say, oh, he should have held on. He should have. Wow, that is insane. I mean, look at this. More selling stock, 140, 125. How much? Man. But he's been selling stock all the way back till, it seems like almost every day of the month. And you can see there's no insider buys. I mean, he was even selling stock at $113, $108, $100 a share. So looks just to be as much as possible. 82 a share. Wow. They were buying the stock though around around $5 to $7 a share though. They had a few $1 million insider buys way back in the day in Carvana. I'm talking about, in here. So they have been right, obviously dumping on this way up. But let's look into a few other names here, because we don't want to just say, oh, look at the insider dumping, because I could have said that at 108, 130. If you bought puts or shorted stock, you just would have got your face ripped off, right? So we don't want to just go in blind. And another reason for that, and then we're going to look at some correlated auto stocks, is, let's look at the short interest. I'm sure it's probably insane. This used to be a good website. Now it's not. Shortsqueeze.com. So they don't pay me. FinViz doesn't pay me. No one pays me for these websites. Just trying to do free stuff that I'm showing y'all today. The short float's about, let's just say 13%. So pretty high short interest, right? And that's expected. I mean, they sell cars and big boxes. If we look at the other auto stocks, though, this is something I do want to take a look at. Well, Stellantis is the maker of Dodge, Jeep, Chrysler, Ram. Stock's been cut in half this year. So the car market, okay, I mean, that's one of the worst ones. GM, though, with a big rally, just got downgraded by Adam Jones of Morgan Stanley. Ford actually just got upgraded by Goldman today, but you can see Ford, down from 14 to 10 bucks a share, right? So that's a huge sell-off. If you look at CarMax, which I would say pretty similar, it's holding up. They had earnings, the stock somehow went up. Toyota, though, obviously getting crushed. Look at the little auto stocks, Rivian getting crushed, Lucid. So the auto market, with high interest rates, and I don't usually get too much into fundamentals and stuff like that, but I mean, it's a very difficult market right now. High interest rates, you're starting to see the effects of it in other asset classes just besides stocks, right? So you're seeing in autos, luxury goods. Many people can't afford not only an expensive car, and I get Carvana as used cars, but the interest rates. So let's just, I'm just curious, right? I haven't been to a Carvana. I've been to a CarMax. Let's just see what it is, right? I mean, I know they have the big building, not great reviews, but let's just see. Let's just see what they have. The buildings, yeah, they'll deliver your car. You could finance with them. Maybe that's where they're making money, the financing. But let's just search for some cars. I'm curious. So it looks like they just do standard cars, used cars, so a little bit cheaper. I mean, to be fair, right? People can't buy a new car, cheaper cars. I do get that. So that's, if you're bullish, you're saying, well, I can't buy a new Range Rover for 120 grand, but I could buy one for 24 grand. I get that. That's a very valid point. Or a Porsche. These are very low mileage too, right? The one thing I will say that I have seen in Carvana, and they do have financing, but Carvana EV, back with years ago, electric vehicles, there wasn't a lot of them. So they weren't selling a lot of them. So here we go. There we go. So the used EV market, Carvana, in their numbers, they're showing a huge increase in used EV sales. And that wasn't reflected. The number, let's just say from last year, it's risen a lot because there's more EVs on the market in the used market. So they're saying, look, we've sold X amount of electric vehicles. That, from what I heard, this was a public report out maybe 6 months ago, but that's what's shown in their like numbers, their account, maybe not accounting, but in their numbers from Wall Street that likes, because they love that, you know, buzzword electric vehicles, where it's kind of like they're, I don't want to say cooking the books, but they're saying, look at all these used EVs we sold. Ooh, look how good we are, because there's more EVs on the market. More people are getting rid of their electric vehicles. So that's really been a big plus, we'll say. There we go. 65% of EV sales. Call it what you will, but it looks like they use that to their advantage, and Wall Street just likes buzzwords and EV, so it looked good for the numbers. To be honest, I don't think you touch the stock. I mean, if you want to be a hero and say, look, Lance, the stock's going to crash, I would say yes. I think it does eventually. Look at all these out the money puts, though, that are basically worthless. It's expensive options, so your timing is going to have to be perfect if you go short dated. If you go out to November, feel free. I mean, you're paying $20 for an at the money put. It's expensive to trade. It's difficult to trade. Maybe on earnings, they look to be November 1st, the first week there. The November 1st expiration captures it. Maybe you take a lotto if the stock has a huge move. And look at this implied move already. I mean, this is what I'm talking about. $35 implied move. So let's say you try grabbing the, 145 puts. I mean, you're paying $5 for them. The stock goes to 140. You're at break even. Numbers don't make sense. Math doesn't make sense. The chart doesn't make sense. The insider selling doesn't make sense. Can it go higher? Yes. What if it goes to 200 a share, right? That's your next probably big level for another squeeze. I would pass on it. Take the U-turn. Don't take the green light. Carvana, I don't know what to do with you. Make sure you leave a comment on what stock you want to see next.